opinion, the housing crisis is also a retirement crisis. In this piece by Kyla Scanlon, the author points out that the United States is still facing a serious shortage of housing, a problem that even Congress now acknowledges with a huge housing bill that was recently signed into law. That law, however, doesn't fix the deeper layer she calls a retirement crisis. Right now, owning a home is the de facto retirement plan for most Americans. A house is no longer just a place to live, its value has to rise over time so people can retire on the money it holds. That creates a paradox. When you want to buy a house, you want the price to stay low so you can afford it. But if you own one, you want the price to stay high to make your nest egg grow. In short, the link between home ownership and retirement is pitting older homeowners, who rely on their assets for retirement, against younger buyers, who need affordable prices to get into the market. Scanlon writes that if we break that link, housing can become a place to live again instead of a financial commodity. She reminds us that this doubling of purpose is a relatively recent development. After World War II, the U.S. purposely built a robust home ownership ecosystem for the baby boomers. Federal policy hands down starter homes and subsidies, and housing was a pillar of the American dream. Then came the 1970s stagflation period, when home prices began to climb, almost tripling between 1970 and 1980, and only stopped for brief pauses until the mid-2000s, when the market hit a peak and now it has surpassed that high again. The real bind, though, is the collapse of defined benefit pensions. Back in 1980 or about 40% of private sector workers had a pension plan that promised a defined payout. Today, only about 14% of workers even have that option. The Faro 401k did not originate to replace pensions. It entered the tax code in 1978 as a mortgage or bonus plan that allowed a small subset of employees to save pre-tax, with employer matching. The idea caught on, companies poured in, and pensions faded away. Retirement economist Anthony Webb dubbed that shift a historical accident. By 2011, benefits consultant Ted Benna was calling the 401k a monster, not because it was a bad idea per se, but because the way Wall Street channeled those investments turned it into an unpredictable, fee-heavy beast. Scanlon ends by warning that unless we rethink retirement policy, we'll see more Americans, especially the older generations, living with houses that are high-priced gambling chips rather than secure future funds, while younger families struggle to purchase homes. That leaderboard drives a broader story about a society in which a retirement crisis is magnifying a housing crisis. In a nutshell, the law that made housing supply side easier didn't touch the retirement side, and that mismatch continues to hurt people at all stages of life. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time as we dig deeper into the forces that shape our homes and our futures.